Hi there, this is Allison Bose. Today we're going to have a summary of the cognitive strategy effects on middle school struggling math students. This study was based on something called the Solve It strategy. Essentially what this was is a cognitive strategy that teaches students a process for solving word problems. This process was really 7 steps where they were asked to read the problem, paraphrase the problem, visualize it, draw pictures, figure out a process for solving it, like what operations they were supposed to use, estimate what they thought the answer was going to be, check to see if it makes sense, and then check their answer to make sure that it's right. Basically what they were doing is hoping to teach students to internalize this process and then also teach them better self-monitoring skills. They were looking really to answer 3 questions. First and foremost, does the intervention work? Would it vary by ability level? And is it effective for standardized testing? This study was completed in the Miami-Dade area, so they used the Florida Comprehensive Achievement Test for their standardized testing measure. So the logistics of the study. There were 8 intervention schools where the Solve It strategy was put in place, and then 16 comparison schools. These comparison schools were comparable in demographics, in free and reduced lunch rates, and performance level to the intervention schools. All of the teachers that did this study were in the general education setting. Solve It provided all of the activities and information that the teachers needed. The teachers went to a 3-day professional development before the school year started, and then each week they would provide students with problem-solving activities that were created by Solve It. There were 6 curriculum-based measures that the intervention schools gave throughout the school year. The intervention school and the comparison schools gave the same baseline test, and then the intervention schools gave 1 CBM about every month until the end of the school year. The comparison schools, on the other hand, didn't pick up the curriculum-based measures until the 4th, 5th, and 6th trials. So, here's what we really want to know. Did it work? At the very end, on the 6th curriculum-based measure, all of the ability groups, the average achieving group, the low achieving group, and the students with learning disabilities outperformed their respective comparison groups on that final measure. It is important to note that that was not the case on the 4th measure or the 5th measure, that the comparison groups in some cases still outperformed the intervention groups. What else this showed was that our ability groups actually ended up growing at the same rate. So our average achieving students didn't pull way ahead of our learning disabled students, and our students with learning disabilities didn't make progress or sort of catch up to our average achieving students. So the real question is, what does this mean for our classrooms? What I think this study showed was that students really benefit from being taught a specific strategy for problem solving. Now, does that strategy have to be specifically the Solve It strategy? No, I don't think so. But what this does show is that students need to be taught how to solve problems, not just the content of the math itself. It also shows that students really benefit from learning self-monitoring skills. They should be able to look at a problem and know if that answer actually makes sense for the problem or not. And they should be able to know, okay, I really understood what this problem was asking me, or no, maybe I didn't get it, and that's where I ran into issues. The other thing that this does show is that students with disabilities still continue to need a little bit more structured support than their peers. Although it's important to note that the students with learning disabilities were able to make progress. They did learn just as much as their average achieving peers. And that's really important to understand and to grasp, because we don't always realize that our students with learning disabilities are able to actually learn and get the concept. So it's super important that we take note of that there. All right, so that is our summary of cognitive strategy effects on middle school struggling math students. Thank you so much.